Yes, indeed. Victor Radley, absolute fake apology. Didn't even look like he even thought his actions were that bad. You can just tell by his facial expressions. Reece Walsh saying, gotta watch out for us Panthers. Is he kidding? And big news outside of Tino going to play for the Australia. Tommy Turbo potentially signing at the Sharks. Right here, right now on Barry Charles Footy Show. Welcome back, guys and gals. Yes, you've heard it here first. Tommy Turbo to the Sharkies. Yes, the final piece of the puzzle to add to Adam Fanua-Blake. If they go out on Friday night, which we're expecting to, then look out. Tommy Turbo will sign for the Sharkies, and see you later, Will Kennedy. That is what the talk point is. If they lose to the Storm, they know the missing piece is Will Kennedy has to go. We need Tommy Turbo. What a big signing that would be, and it's absolutely on the cards, and they probably hate it that I'm saying it, but it's on the cards potentially. But obviously, he still loves Manly, and he doesn't want to play against Manly. That's all the talk, but if the money talks, look out, Tommy Turbo to the Sharks. What's the likelihood of it happening? It's probably low, but at the end of the day, the conversations have been had at Cronulla, but whether it can get through to the final hurdle is another $1 million question. But definitely Cronulla are in need of a fullback, and Tommy Turbo would be their man. If they could get the best out of him, wow, they definitely could win the premiership. Getting on to Victor Radley. What's happening with Victor Radley, folks? Absolute one of the worst interviews I've ever heard. I really have. They obviously go with people they trust, but they weren't asking the hard questions of Victor Radley. Why did you do it? I know it was all allegedly, so they probably can't even ask some of these questions, but at the end of the day, he has the gumption to say, I did it or not. Now, Andrew Johns came out and had the gumption to say that he did it, and he's done it before. It's about time, Victor Radley, you stepped up and did the same thing. Admit that you did it. Admit that it was a mistake and you'll never do it again. But from what, if you read between the lines, folks, on what he said in the Danny Wilder interview, that he just was sad he got caught. As simple as that, because he's going to continue to do it. And that's what happens with all these players. Now, I'm going to say allegedly before all of these, but all these guys do this stuff. Reece Walsh, Cameron Munster, Latrell Mitchell, Valentine Holmes. List just goes on and on and on and on and on. When are the NRL going to do something about it? I continue to say this on this channel. The NRL do jack shit when it comes to drugs in this game. Get it out of the game. But we know that probably some of you at that head office allegedly do this stuff anyway, so you don't care. Simple as that, and that is damn true about some of the people out there at the top level of all these NRL clubs. Not saying them all, but there will be people that will be doing this type of recreational drugs, whatever you want to call it. They do it. It's out there. It's true. They supply it, all this stuff, all allegedly. But don't tell me it doesn't happen, because Ben Barber all of a sudden gets it on grand final day, and it never happens during the year. Most of the time, it never comes out during the year. It's absolutely ludicrous. It's out there. It's sad to see, but it is the way it is. Reece Walsh, baby. Yes. Reece Walsh comes out and says, 1-2 punch the Panthers. What about us? You should be scared of us. Well, we will see. It's fighting talk. At the end of the day, it's going to be down to actions. Reece Walsh has been outstanding this season, but will his games stiffen up against the best of the best? And the question mark will be with Adam Reynolds coming back into the team. Will he actually hinder what has happened at the end of the day? And we, to be honest, you will never know, because Billy Walters was injured anyway, so the replacement's been. But should Ezra Mann play? I don't know. And Tony Staggs also comes out and goes, boom, yeah, I'm going to attack that side edge and carve you up. Well, we will find out. Tino, top of the list, folks. Yes, Tino, playing for Australia this year. Writing is absolutely on the wall. After this, he's going to play for Samoa in the World Cup. Absolute. Only thing that'll keep him from not playing is that he might want more match payments and he'll play for Australia. But if it's equal payments, which I believe it should be equal payments, then he would go to the thing. And that means, do you pick him now? That's the big question. This is what everyone's talking about. Well, we also got Marky Mark not getting select. I mean, they shouldn't select him now. Well, the question mark is Marky Mark going to play the World Cup next year? If he is, then play him. If he's not, then you can argue that you could be playing someone else. And that's the thing what I got with Tino. You're going to pick him for this year and then he won't be there next year when you need him. You could give the experience to someone else. That is the hardest thing that's the hardest thing. Really, when you are Kevin Walters right now, do you pick Tino because there's no guarantee he's going to go there next year on the hope he'll play the World Cup? Or do you just go, this guy's going to play the World Cup, he wants to play, and we play him? So that's the Lindsay Smiths of the worlds. Will be there. It's just a question mark of who they pick because they think they're strong enough for that position, which you could argue is the truth. So they're going to pick Tino anyway, but do they need to give these guys more game time and hope they come up to the next level? Does a Rudolph get his opportunity now? He's playing some good football at the moment. Does he? That's the question mark you've got to answer yourself about this. I don't like it. We heard Michael Chamis say that maybe it should be every 4-year cycle. Oh, what 4-year cycle? You play for your country. It's simple as that. Okay, if you got 2 countries, you got to pick. There's just no 2 ways about it, in my opinion. You play for the 2 countries. If you don't get selected, that's a different story. I think you can play in another one. That's the only way. But to choose between Australia and Samoa, to me, you pick one or the other. If you don't get selected in one, then you have the opportunity to play for the other. But don't go backwards and forwards like a yo-yo. It just cheapens the jersey, in my opinion, and we need to really stamp that out of the game. I do believe, like, players that want to play for Australia but can't meet the Australian team and have the opportunity to play for someone else, then play for someone else. But those ones that are generally top elite players like Tino and the likes, they got to choose. You got to choose, mate. I know you want to play for both. Maybe at the end of the year, your career, you can play for Samoa or vice versa. Australia if you want, but you're probably unlikely to play for Australia later in your career. It's just, to me, it's just not good. I understand being with different cultures, but I'm different cultures and I would only play for New Zealand. No doubt about it. I would not play for anyone else. So you could argue if you're going to get a chance of playing at a World Cup that you'll play for someone else, then in a way, I'm not going to say I wouldn't. But if I had to pick one, it would be New Zealand all day of the week. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have their own opinion. Some would say they would do some more, but they'd play for Australia for the money. It's just simple as money for some of these people. You get a certain amount for each game you play. Thank you very much. That's the way of the world. But yeah, in terms of Marky Mark, do you pick him? You got him. You just got to damn got him. He is outstanding. He's playing well. He deserves to be in the team, and I believe he deserves to be in the starting team. He's playing that good of football. He deserves the right to be there. With Coates and Lomax. Lomax can play centre too if you need him to. Marky Mark's in my team every day of the week. He's not choosing between 2 countries. He's just choosing between the sports. Let's get to it. Quick preview of the final 2 games before we get to the grand finale. Yes. Well, there's all this talk about the Sharks are going to win all this, and it's more media beef up or anything else. The Storm are going to annihilate them. Absolutely annihilate them. Absolutely. They have every opportunity to win this competition, the Storm. They're going to have the 2 days extra to win. They've got no excuse. If they lose this game on Friday night, it's the biggest choke of the century. Amsterdam, Storm should be winning, and they should be winning by plenty. The question mark for the Storm is obviously the injury to Pappenhausen. If he gets injured early, what's going to happen there? Game over. Do you have to have Peasant on the bench just in case? for the injury, and how does that work with your rotation? There's a lot of ups and flows. That's the biggest thing for me. If Jerome Hughes goes down after 2 minutes, I know they put Wishart there, but it's Wishart, Jonah Peasant. We've seen in their finals game, no. Wishart's solid, but Peasant's better at organising the team. So does Peasant need to be on the bench? That is the question mark that he's going to have to face if he leaves him out. And Jerome Hughes goes down too. There is the danger for me. If Jerome Hughes gets injured early, pressure is on. Big time for them to win it. So I would have Jonah Peasant on the bench. I really would. Can you have him and Wishart on the bench? I don't know if you can. But then if Harry Hooker, Harry Grant's an 80-minute player, then what can you do? I think there's got to be at least a talk about that. But to say Sharks can't win has been a bit out of there. Their defence has been very good. It has been very good at the last month. And definitely are playing above what probably they should be. They're right at their mark again. I just don't know if they have the killer blow to get it done. And I think that they know that if they had Tommy Turbo or someone like that, a fullback, they're the real deal. I think they just won. If they can get a gun fullback, then the Sharks go to the next level and win this comp. But right now, I think they're just missing their player. But Anafanua Blake can definitely put the pressure on Stefano, but Stefano's playing good football. But yeah, Storm should be winning, and I think 13+. Broncos, Panthers. This is a game, could be the game of the century. Well, they keep saying game of the century, and we had some great games 2 weeks ago, the Broncos. To me, this is going to come down to whether Broncos can handle a grinding match. They need to blow Panthers apart, like the Raiders did to them early on. They need to blow the Panthers apart and just keep attacking. They're not going to win the game by going soft. They need to go attack. So is Ezra Mann going to be a late inclusion and play at number 6? They're just playing Drakes and Drakes here. I wouldn't be surprised if he just comes straight in and they put him in. They might just be trying to toy with the thing, and that's what I'm hearing. Potentially Ezra Mann will start and Ben Hunt will go to 9, so they will change it all up. That's what I'm hearing. There's a potential for it. They're trying to put the pressure. We will find out on Sunday if that is the case. But yeah, I have heard a bit of rumours out there that Ezra Mann can potentially start this game. But do I think they can beat Panthers? Yes, they can. But do I think it's going to happen? I think they need Ezra Mann to start. If they don't start Ezra Mann, they could fall into the trap of having Ben Hunt and Anna Reynolds both trying to control this game, and it's not going to work. They need one dominant player there. Give the ball to Reece Walsh when he needs it, and they can win the game. If they try to play against Penrith again, the same sort of game, they're going to lose. Patrick Carrigan's a big out for the Broncos, and it may cost them the chance to win. I would love to see the Broncos there, but I just think Panthers, with Cleary, are going to have too much gumption. And Panthers, the 5-peat is on, and I think you'll see them in the grand final. But it's going to be a great night of football, going to be a great weekend. We're going to see how it goes. Sunday night grand final, do I think that's the Sunday day grand final? Do I think they should come into force? Absolutely. Bring it back, baby. It doesn't have to be, we can have it at 4 o'clock, you know what I mean? That would be fine. 4 o'clock game. It'll still be light at 6 o'clock. I think that's good enough time. Instead of having it late into the night, I think that's how they should do it. But anyway, that's Barry Charles Footy Show for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.